SCP-590 and 321 are Dr. Bright's siblings. Now, Dr. Bright is the immortal guy with the amulet that has some anomalous family members as well. We've done reactions on Dr. Bright before, but never really about his siblings, so we're gonna get to it today. This one's by SCP Exposed. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos, and let's get into this one.
Adam Bright was sitting in his office at the Foundation when suddenly he heard a loud knocking at his door. Before he had a chance to say, "Come in," the door burst open and personnel came running in.
Hello?
They were all carrying guns and immediately pointed them to his face. Hundreds of thoughts came flashing through his mind.
Like, what did
His
I do?
daughter Sarah was under SCP containment.
Oh, yeah.
He had been trying to get her released for a very long time, but no one was listening to him. He knew that they were getting annoyed with his persistent requests, but he couldn't give up on her. "What's going on? What do you want?"
She grows a
You
lot.
just couldn't stay out of it, could you? Gunshots rang out through the hallways. Welcome back to SCP Exposed.
The heck is going on?
Today, we will talk about the forgotten Bright siblings, SCP-590 and SCP-321. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any
I've
SCP
been subbed
stories.
since day one. Or
Adam and Evelyn Bright were the parents of
early.
5 children: Jack, TJ, Sarah, Claire, and Mikkel. Evelyn Bright worked as a medical assistant. She has passed away. Her husband, Adam,
know
worked
that.
as a Foundation researcher. Rising through the ranks, he was eventually promoted to 05-12. Jack Bright serves as one of the Foundation's most reputable researchers and is currently tethered to SCP-963, an ornate amulet approximately 15 centimeters in circumference.
pretty much helps him
963
respawn.
was discovered in the personal effects of a victim of apparent suicide. Agents discovered it was incapable of being damaged. Jack's younger brother, TJ Bright, is approximately 16 years of age.
He has
The Foundation
healing
refers to
qualities.
him as SCP-590. Although in all aspects a normal teenager, when SCP-590 touches any other human, he heals all injuries and ailments, physical and mental they may have. As an odd side effect, SCP-590 receives the injuries upon himself, being subjected to all the pain and the aftermath. The only benefit he receives from his powers is apparent longevity, as he has not aged since his arrival at the Foundation.
That's weird.
When
I didn't
healing
know
a
that.
physical wound, SCP-590 not only feels the pain of receiving the wound, but gains scars relevant to where the wound was on the subject.
It's horrible.
When healing a cancer patient, the tumors materialize at varying places on his body, usually along his arms or legs.
That's
Any
terrible.
mental healing performed is transferred directly, resulting in SCP-590 gaining whatever mental aberration he was healing. Those wounds he receives from using his powers accumulate. SCP-590 is not capable of healing mental disorders caused by psionic induction, including those caused by certain mind-altering SCPs.
I didn't know that
At
either.
one point, 590 was bedridden and unable to leave his room due to accumulated injuries. He was put on life support, unable to even breathe on his own. Shortly after, he was given 1 dose of SCP-500, a pill that effectively cures the subject of all diseases within 2 hours. It brought TJ back to full health. At the instigation of Jack Bright, SCP-590 was immediately induced to heal several cases of mental retardation. Due to this action, he is permanently at the mental level of a 3-year-old child and is extremely tractable. SCP-590 is currently reserved for use on researchers and above. Sarah Bright is the youngest of the Bright siblings. Born on the 4th of July, she is currently 3.1 meters tall and weighs approximately 110 kilograms. Sarah is devoid of melanins in her hair, eyes, and skin. She is incapable of speech, but can still vocalize, and is proven to have problems with spatial recognition and awareness. She displays a low degree of intellect and has problems adjusting to new situations. Sarah was the stillborn child of Evelyn and Adam Bright. Junior researcher Bright took it upon himself to make use of several SCPs, including SCP-590, in an effort to bring his daughter back to life.
I didn't know
The procedure worked, but the result was taken into Foundation custody for examination. The subject was later given SCP designation 321. SCP-321 was quickly found to have recuperative abilities, capable of healing injuries inflicted upon her at approximately 5 times the normal rate. In the time since, her body has continued to age at a decelerated rate, approximately half that of a normal human. Although her aging has been slowed, SCP-321 has continued to grow, showing no signs of stopping despite now being taller than
like
any recorded human.
She's like
at this point
in
in time,
spurt,
it is believed her recuperative abilities stem from overabundant production of stem cells. SCP-590 is assigned to a regular SCP living space at Sector 7. There is to be one guard on duty at all times within said space to ensure 590 does not harm himself. He is to be supplied with one television, which is to be used only in the broadcasting of children's shows. At no time is he allowed to leave Sector 7 for any reason. The subject is to be fed only the vitamin-laced protein gruel created especially for him. Anyone caught attempting to feed him anything else will be demoted. SCP-590 is not to be handled without proper authorization.
You can't even eat good
According
food.
to Foundation protocol, SCP-590 is not to be named as anything other than 590. He is a tool to be used, not someone's friend, sibling, or child. Anyone found forming attachments to an SCP will be removed to a less people-intensive duty.
That's so
SCP-321 is to be kept in a regulation containment chamber. She has been outfitted with extensive braces to make up for weaknesses in bone structure and muscle mass. Her artificial heart is to be examined once a month for any damage. SCP-321 is to be fed 3 times daily. Solid foods are excluded from her prescribed diet. 3 staff members are on temporary SCP-321 assignment at this time. She is to be given 3 hours a day of exercise and physical therapy, with the rest of her time not involved in experiments to be confined to her cell. While SCP-321 is incapable of asking for anything, she has been allowed several stuffed toys. For a period of time, the limits of SCP-321's natural heart were reached. SCP-321 was too tall for blood to be circulated properly. During this period, she was restrained physically in order to keep her heart capable of pumping blood to the brain. Despite this, slow decay was evident and the limits of SCP-321's recuperative abilities were found, as she was not capable of healing damage that was being dealt constantly. Work began in 1948 to create an artificial heart to prolong SCP-321's existence. Since its completion, all damage to SCP-321 has been healed. SCP-321 has a very low intelligence. Everyday activities are a chore for her, and it can take several months to years to teach her to do such things as use utensils for eating. While SCP-321 has fully developed vocal cords, she seems incapable of learning speech. Instead, crying and making nonsense noises, as of those typically heard from infants under the age of 6 months. The 4th bright sibling is Mikkel, also known as Agent Cowboy. He is one of the Foundation's best agents. It is rumored that he may have been the one who had to take responsibility and bring TJ in as opposed to Jack. He spent years as an active agent for the Foundation, working his way up the ranks until he became a well-known and respected agent under the username of Cowboy. Like his father before him, he first became the Hand Sinister, a troubleshooting agent working specifically for the O5 Council, handling things that might not look good on paper, and then an O5 himself. Not all Bright siblings have been loyal to the Foundation. Claire Bright was an SCP agent but defected and joined the Serpent's Hand, a rebel group against the SCP Foundation.
But I'm not familiar with
Prior,
what
she vehemently opposed the unethical treatment of her brother, SCP-590, by the Foundation.
That's why she joined
Claire didn't want to accept how unjustified it was that her sister, SCP-321, wasn't allowed to be taken home. Her whereabouts are currently unknown. During his career, Adam Bright made numerous requests for SCP-321 to be released. At one point reporting, "We can learn nothing more from SCP-321, suggesting we remove its SCP designation." Site Director Adam Bright. This request was denied. All previous requests had been denied as well.
They contain everything.
Adam Bright finally requested that SCP-321 be decommissioned and returned to her family, effective immediately. 05-12.
Decommissioned?
The request was denied, and the following response was given by 05-1. "This is the final time, Adam. She is not now, nor ever has been your daughter. If you attempt this again, I will gather the council, and you will be removed." Adam Bright was eventually killed by the rest of the council for questioning 321's status too many times. What do you think of that SCP case?
That's
Please
horrible,
leave your comments
man.
down.
That's horrible that they did that to him. I didn't know they killed him. Oh, that's awful, man. To take your family has anomalous qualities, and they're taking them away from him, and then He tries to get him back, and they just end up murdering him. God, that's such a sad story, but it's very, very interesting. A lot of those qualities, and the fact that the whole family is anomalous is kind of crazy too. At any rate, guys, make sure to subscribe to SCP Exposed. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos too. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.